Okay, so the weather radar was not what I saw last night on the radar was not what happened. And we had a series of storms, thunder and lightning. It never ended, all night. And what I really want to know right now is, what exactly is the point of a ground cloth when there is more mud on my ground cloth than under my ground cloth? Yeah, I picked a mud site. Rookie mistake, but I honestly didn't think we were getting the rain that we got. Everything is mud. I've been dealing with this all morning. Look at my poor sneakers. Did not look like this yesterday. I can't even. Oh my God, they're just a disaster. Everything is muddy. I went to the stream and actually filled my Ceanoc just so I could rinse off my tent because there was so much mud on it. All right. I used it as a little power washer, though it wasn't very powerful. All right. I had high hopes for today, but it is very slow going. So, yeah, we shall see. Until later. So I almost didn't, but I'm like, no, you know what? This one was way too nice not to. Even if I did have the mud site of the century. And that was my fault, I think. I'm going to check if I can see it easily. But, see, I decided to tent in the hammock section. Well, hammock sections don't have to worry about mud splashing back up on their tent. Now, do they? That was probably my fault. I'm almost wondering if the campsites were full of, leaves and stuff. Now, what the sign there, my left hand is full of stuff, so I can't zoom in. But right there is the spring. And it is such a nice walk to the spring that I wore my flip-flops. That's huge. I can't, oftentimes, I need to keep my same hiking footwear on my feet because the trail to the water source is almost worse than the AT itself. Anyway, another set of duo shelters, which is just too cute for words. Now, they're little, but they get the job done. They also, see here, I set up my own line, but they had a line if I were so inclined to use it. And look at this little covered picnic area. I mean, this really is the cutest little spot. Look at, and a fake flower. But just really cute, right? Picnic table. And this is, where am I? Tumbling Run Shelter. Honestly, definitely worth the stop. And, okay, so let's see, what else? Down here, and I'll show you why I didn't pick the campsite. I don't mind being alone, but I wanted to be near other people. But I will show you that in a minute. Now, if it wasn't so just disgusting and muddy and gross, so there's, oh, shucks. You know what? I missed this entirely. Oh, and yes, I see stones. Yeah, if I had gone to the tent sites, I walked right by this. I got in later than I wanted, and I wasn't very happy about it, so that was probably what it was. Yeah, I see stones. This place is so well thought out that, of course, there were stones, so no mud would kick back up on my tent. Needless aggravation. But here's our flooded fire pit. Oh my gosh, that is just too funny. Okay, so anyway, you can see we can all comfortably sit around it had it been a nice day. Now this, over here, you see is the privy. And this is what I did see. I did see this, which is why, and it also has the bear box, which makes life so easy. But we got the privy and, see, group tent sites. But yeah, it does look like the group tent sites are a bit flooded, unless I keep going and they get better. I don't know. But that's what I saw, and I didn't want to be way over here. So that is why I went over and saw the hammock site and said, oh, that's lovely. But again, was not expecting the weather we got. So, yes, total rookie mistake. But at the same time, thought I knew what I was doing. So, yeah. All right. I am going to let you go for now and get this hike started. Let's see. See the signage here. Okay, another thing about this this shelter. The signage is outstanding. There is signs for everything. So this is the way I'm going to go. Yes. Onward we go. Okay, so I get it. I don't have to share every last detail of my life with you out here on the trail, but I did think to myself, maybe I'll hit the privy before I go. And yes, I'm getting far more comfortable with the privies, washing my hands very diligently, and I haven't heard of anyone with noro for a long time. So I use this privy, and oh my gosh, I have never seen a privy where I felt the need to share it with you. It was so nice. I'm actually wondering what's back here. So this must be, if done properly, it actually makes a very rich soil, right? So they can just spread that back into the forest. It's actually a wonderful system when it works right. But anyway, here's the thing. So you got to see this. Like, first of all, it's gorgeous, right? Like, I never see a privy that looks like an outbuilding like this. Okay. It's got a doorbell, just in case you don't feel like knocking. Hand sanitizer, a little freshener tree. Please no trash in the privy, because when you do that, it doesn't work. Something to hang your things on. A solar light switch, which didn't actually work, but not surprised because of the weather we had last night. Toilet paper rolls. Okay, I never, ever, 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 ever see that. And the privy itself, yeah, lovely, right? Oh my gosh, right? I'm like, you have to see this. And then, because, for good measure, of course, I can wash my hands right here. I mean, it's like having your sink right there. I couldn't even. I had to show you. No, the privies are usually these little wooden structures that are disgusting and you just barely can believe you're going in there. But that, I was like, I'd have one of those at home. If I had like an outdoor living space with a pool and everything, I might build one of those and just say, hey, folks, you're not traipsing through my house. Go use that. That's awfully nice. Okay, now I'm putting my backpack on. Now I'm going to get going. There. So I have a point and then just some prattling for you. So yesterday, after you and I celebrated entering Pennsylvania, crossing the Mason-Dixon line, woohoo, I had already done all that, so I didn't think to pull the camera out and tell you about a section hiker that walked in right after that walkthrough, and he offered to take my picture, and so I in turn, took his. And that mailbox thing I meant to tell you was not ever leaving notes. What a silly thing, I thought. It was actually a hiker book that I signed. But that was, he told me that, that was Mountain Goose. He's a section hiker. He and his friend MacGyver 23 being for the year they started. And they have this really cool arrangement where one drops off, the other drops at the other end. Then one of them walks to the car, and then they take the car and pick up the other one. Anyway, and then they can stay in. It's a truck that's been converted, so really great. They can stay in it. Anyway, he was telling me all about it. We hiked for a little while together, but he had to get back to the car. So I lost him at one point. And of course, I was trying to get to the shelter by that point because I had had an unnecessarily long day. It was 18.1 miles. I know that's not wicked short, but it's also not my longest. And really only 2,800 plus-ish feet of gain. There was actually more downhill than uphill yesterday. And still, for whatever reason, it was such a long day. It was so humid, I will give it that. Crazy, painful humid. Took another bath in the stream when I got there at the shelter last night. I really like that routine. That works out well. But there was, so some of that, it's worth mentioning, some of that downhill yesterday was just all rocks. rocks upon rocks upon rocks upon rocks upon rocks. Not the speed through and gain some time section downhill that I was hoping for. When I'm thinking, oh, more downhill than uphill. Woo, I'm going to really make some great time. And that might have been the disappointment, right? Like it's just unmet expectations. It's not that it was a particularly long day, so I thought it would be a shorter day. So, yeah, I mean, you just don't go racing through that kind of terrain. You'll land on your face if you don't break an ankle in the process. So, it makes me, again, I'm going to bring it up again, makes me wonder what that rocky section of Pennsylvania is going to be like. I mean, it's rocky now, but it's no different than New England, like what I face in New England every single day when I go out for a hike. So right now I'm in very familiar territory. But you don't go speeding through it. Yeah, now that my tent and everything else has been as much cleaned off as possible, the sun is out. You know what would have been neat if I wasn't always in such a hurry? I think that's just my personality. I can't help it. I could have waited a couple of hours maybe in camp and let everything dry. Because it's really, like I said, not supposed to rain again till Sunday. But you know what I'm thinking? It'll probably dry tonight when I pitch it. So, not worry. Oh, looks like some thru hikers coming. We'll say hi. Anyway, I didn't have much more to say. I just wanted to say hi to Mountain Goose. Hey there, through hiking?
You too.
Yeah, enjoy. Best of luck, Godspeed. Yeah. You want to be in my vlog?
Yeah.
Say
hey.
Hi. Anyway.
Pretty day here so far.
Right? After that rain last night. Yeah, anyway. Let's see. I think that was probably it. And maybe I'll meet MacGyver 23 at some point. But they do quite the section hiking. They don't just come like for 2 weeks a year or something. They come several times a year. I'm sure they're retired. But they will come out and do as little as 5 days or 2 weeks, but several times a year. So they're getting it done. Anyway. All right. And there's Wilson. Morning, friend. Okay. On we go. Oh, you know what else? Since I got the camera out, I also met a sweetheart this morning, young girl named Harmonica. That's her trail name, Harmonica. She was hammocking like she should have been in the section I camped in. And I didn't get a picture, and I wish I had, but we were too busy. She was tearing down her wet hammock setup, and I was cleaning my gear out of the mud pit that was my campsite. So we never stopped to get a photo. But sweetheart, talked to her for a little bit. She's flip-flopping. She just started, and a lot of people do that right this time of year, right now. They flip-flop. They start in Harper's Ferry, get to Katahdin, turn around, go back to Harper's Ferry, and then go south. Yeah, it's one way to do it. Okay, that's it. Oh gosh, look at that beautiful sky. Woo! We're gonna have it for several days. Woohoo! Yay. So this is the trail. I am trying so hard to not have to walk on the wet, or I should say down the river, but I'm not sure it goes on forever. And I'm really not sure I'm gonna be able to do this, because you can see even the side is mushy and wet, and I think the sneakers are not staying dry today. Maybe they'll dry overnight though. Fingers crossed. So check this out. Trail magic. Woohoo! We got all kinds of Little Debbie. I had one of those little Swiss roll and 2 bags of, I was a total glutton today. I had 2 bags of chips, one Swiss roll. I did not have soda. and 2 hot dogs made on this little grill with, look at this, Golden's mustard spicy brown. Woohoo! And I met over here Harmonica again from this morning.
Hello.
And there's Post-it, our chef and provider of trail magic, who did the trail last year. So what is that? 24. Woohoo! And he's going up to New Hampshire to finish the 48, or at least to chip away at some more. He's got 20 left to do. Woohoo! You know, all those previous, let's call them hours, of me filming the mountain laurel and saying, oh my gosh, mountain laurel's everywhere. I had not seen anything yet. I am telling you, now the mountain laurel is in full bloom. And when I say it's everywhere, it is everywhere. What I'm showing you on this side is equally abundant on this side. And the thing, it goes so deep, like so deep into the mountainside. If I was up higher, I could look down on it, but it's just everywhere. Now, I know you're thinking, Karen, enough already with the flowers. I know. It's just every day I see it and I'm so awe-inspired. And then it's just because right now, I mean, this is what I was waiting for, right? I just wanted miles and miles and miles and miles of mountain laurel, and now I have it. And what's funny is I stopped filming it, and yet here it was in full bloom, like I've been begging for. So, all right, I am going, oh my God, do you see? Do you see? It just goes on and 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 on. All right, I promise, enough on the mountain laurel, because this has been going on for hours, and I just took my phone out now. So I did try to hold back, but I promise I'm not going to bore you to tears with more and more and more mountain laurel. Though it is gorgeous, you're going to miss it. Okay. So I just noticed I'm coming down the path, right? And unfortunately, my phone is altering what you see. It's lighting it up automatically. I don't know if there's a setting I need to change, but it's actually kind of dark and almost foggy. And I'm realizing as I'm chugging so quick toward the shelter, because I want to get there as quickly as possible, how like kind of eerie it is. I wish you could see it like I'm seeing it. It's almost like my phone somehow has eliminated the haze. Anyway, it's wild. Maybe as it gets darker, you'll see more. I don't know. I'm not going to film it again, so you won't see what I see. But it's very cool. But look how quiet. It's just all these trees and like no leaves. No rhododendrons, no mountain laurel, just all these trees. At least the sky is still beautiful. And the birds are out. Wow. Well, I'm almost there. Gotta keep going. Hey, so here is my camp. I am at Birch Run. Yes, that's where I'm at. I am at Birch Run Shelter. And we are not to be in the shelter, actually. So I'll show it to you. So we are not to use the shelter because apparently the shelter has bats, which is not even the bad thing. Bats eat mosquitoes. I like bats, and bats are protected in Pennsylvania. But you know what? There's something called bat bugs. I've never even heard of them. But bats bring these particular bugs, and these bat bugs are like bed bugs. So, yeah, so they have said that The shelter itself is closed because of the bat bugs, and if you sleep in it, you might not be very happy. So yeah, but there's still the privy and the bear hang. I gotta go put my food out there, and but let me show you. So the rest of it's pretty cool. My camp is a mess. I don't like a messy camp, but it's a mess because I got here late. I got here at like 7:15. You know how I don't like to rush. And now it's after 8, so it's going to get dark very soon. But here's my babbling brook. I love it. I get to fall asleep to it and wake up to it. I love, love, love it. And it's my water source, so how convenient. My dinner is steeping right here. And that's why my food bag is still open and a mess. And here's my bed all set up. I don't have the fly on there because I set up my little clothesline that has become my new thing, my clothesline. And I thought I would see if the fly would dry before I put it back on the tent. And you know what? It really has. So I'm very pleased with that. I used my bandana for my back today, and I rinsed out my socks. I really think, because I'm doing this with the backwards thing, I really think I'm showing you my shoes. I hope I'm showing you my shoes. Anyway, they were they did not stay dry. The shoes did not stay dry today, as suspected. But worse, they were full of so much mud and grit. Hence, the socks had to be rinsed out. I just had to rinse the shoes thoroughly. They were so full of mud. I don't believe they will be dry in the morning. No. As a matter of fact, even though the weather had said no rain today, the radar did show a little rain. God, I hope it's not a lot of rain. I hope it's only a little rain because, yes, once again, I am in a mud site. Options were extremely limited. I could be in the grass, but then I thought I'd be in a tick site, and I did not want to be in a tick site. So I'm taking the lesser of two evils, and I am in a mud site. So I am really, really, really hoping that it doesn't rain a lot tonight. But yeah, so let me just really quickly tell you about the day. So remember how yesterday I met Mountain Goose? He had his friend, MacGyver 23, and they did this thing with the car where they dropped it off, and then one went one way and the other went the other way, and then one picked the other up and the whole thing, and it's really cool how they have it all worked out. Well, they flipped it. So today I met MacGyver 23. So that was wicked cool. He comes up and he goes, "Are you the one?" And I go, "Are you the guy?" Because I knew he wore an orange shirt. So I said it's Under Armour, I believe. So an orange Under Armour shirt. So when you see that picture, you'll know that's MacGyver 23. And so I knew it was him the minute I saw the orange shirt. And he's like, "Oh yeah, Mountain Goose was so excited to meet you." And anyway, he was really, really nice. And he goes, "You might see him tomorrow because we're going to flip it again. So that'll be fun." And then another fun thing. So when I was just leaving the Trail Magic today, I saw Walkabout again. Now, I met Walkabout at the Halfway Hideaway Hostel. And he's super, super nice. In fact, you want to know how nice he is? I was calling him Outback. He's from Australia, of course, right? I was calling him Outback. And he never corrected me until finally he goes, "It's Walkabout." I'm like, "Oh, me and trail names." Ugh. So wicked, wicked nice guy. Okay. But today I got it right. So he showed up, so that was good. I got a picture of him. You'll see that. But I also wanted to kind of just expound on something. So I talked about Post-it, which, by the way, thank you again, Post-it, for such amazing trail magic. I pigged out so bad. I was going to say such a glutton. I used that term earlier, but I pigged out so badly that I'm not even that hungry for dinner. So I'm actually going to have soup. And of course a dessert or something. So, I wanted to expound on what I was saying about him because I said he's going to New Hampshire to work on the finishing up his 4,000 footers. So if you're outside in New England, you might not have any idea what we're talking about. But in New England, it's definitely a thing. So New Hampshire has 48 mountains that are over 4,000 feet in elevation with a 200-foot prominence or something like that. There are 4,000 footers without the prominence, and so they don't count. Something like that. I don't understand that part completely, but there's 48. Now, I know you people in the West have your 14,000 footers. Just let us have our mountains, please. We're very proud of our 4,000 footers. There's 48 of them in New Hampshire. You know what? You may have 14,000 footers out west. We got the worst weather in the world. So we got that, right? So let me tell you why that's important that I bring that up. Because there are people that will do, take years, okay? So there are people that will take years to do the 4,000 footers. That was me, all right? I don't live in New Hampshire. My job does not let me get away very often. So for me, it took years to get it done. I am done. I am very proud of that. Now, there are people out there who will do all 48 in a single season, right? So, summer, spring, fall, winter. We have the worst weather in the world. Can you imagine these people are doing the 4,000 footers in winter? Okay, but it gets even better. There are people who then, it's called doing the grid, okay? They do all 48 in a single month. So they can take years to do this. They'll do all 48 in January, all 48 in February, maybe not in order. Maybe they did them in January, then they did them in June, and then they did it in March, and then they did it in July, whatever. But they will do all 48 in a single month. And then there are the crazy beasts out there. Well, from what I understand, there's only two, unless somebody's done it since I don't know about. Two people. My friend Philip Garcia is one of them. Did all 48 each month in a calendar year. Can you imagine the logistics for that? I'm telling you, we have the worst weather. The weather in the White Mountains is not to be trifled with. I think I told you that. We can have a blizzard in June. Imagine what the weather's like in January and February. Even in April. You can post-holing in April, in May, is crazy town. My 48th was at Mount Isolation. I think I did it late October, early November. And I remember I was climbing and I had to break trail through snowdrifts waist deep. And that went on forever, straight up the mountain. Once I got above tree line, the wind's blowing all over the place, and those snowdrifts were up to my waist, and I'm breaking trail. Can you imagine doing all 48? It was one mountain. So, wild stuff. I don't know that I'm ever interested in doing the seasons or the grid, but you know what? Hey, give me an opportunity, challenge me, say I can't do it, and I'll probably do it. But anyway, don't anybody say I can't do it. Please don't. Anyway, all right, so I thought that was pretty cool. You know who else I met? I met this amazing woman. Okay, her name is Blaze, and her husband is Sparks. And they are section hikers. She's she ain't in her 20s, let's put it that way. She had both her knees done last year. She was doing 18 miles a day, but she had surgery on both her knees. She's older than me. You'll see the picture. And now, she's doing near 15 miles a day. She's a beast. Anyway, so she was so nice. So she came over. She saw us at the Trail Magic, and she came over to say hello. And we talked for quite a while. She took down my channel on YouTube. And now, the thing is, she's already watching so many. I said, no pressure. You do not have to watch mine. I'm very, very talkative. I'm verbose, so don't feel like you owe me it, like you have to do that. But she was so nice. So she leaves, she was going on a hike, just a day hike. she leaves, starts her hike. Guess what? Comes all the way back to ask me if she can help me in any way, if I needed anything, and wanted to offer me some sort of slack packing, but couldn't figure out in her head like where to give me back my gear. Can you imagine? She had already got on trail and then came all the way back. The people out here are amazing. Amazing. Anyway, Blaze, thank you so much for that. It was really, really, really great to meet you and to chat with you today. So yeah, I guess that's my day. I know I'm blabbling. I'm blabbling like this beautiful brook right here. So I am going to close for now because I bet you my dinner's ready. All right, well, nighty-night all. We'll see you again tomorrow.